who indeed truly controls the sky, this ultimately controls the course of the war. Air superiority is one of the most important components of any military operations. For this reason, the wealthiest countries in the world invest billions of dollars in their Air Force programs, development, and design. The USA, France, Russia, Japan, China, Italy, and Spain are just a few of the countries that are already working on creating the aircraft of the future, the so-called 6th generation fighters. To begin with, we should understand what a generation of fighters is, what it indicates, and how it is characterized. A particular generation of jet fighters is a group of serially produced maneuverable combat aircraft, whose design period corresponds to a unified global level of development in aviation science and technology. Belonging to a particular generation is determined by the aerodynamic layout, structural power scheme of the airframe, power plant, onboard aircraft systems, as well as weapon systems. Technologies, especially in the military sphere, do not stand still. Thus, the difference between modern fighters and their seemingly not so outdated predecessors is simply enormous.
5th generation fighters are indeed machines that are supposed to revolutionize the concept of combat aviation. Firstly, they will be low observable. What determines observability? It's the radar cross-section, RCS. In 4th generation aircraft, it varied in whole square meters, from 2 or 3 to 10, whereas in 5th generation aircraft, this surface is already measured in tenths of a square meter, or even hundreds. Second, these aircraft will be exceptionally tightly integrated into all the control systems of the ground forces.
According to the forecast of many military experts, 6th generation fighters will receive at least the following upgrades. Thanks to improvements in stealth technology, the low observability will be replaced by the fighter's invisibility. An effective combat capability will be added at all speed modes, ranging from subsonic to speeds of several Machs. Add to this optional piloting, or, in other words, full remote control, as well as directed energy weapons. Simply put, lasers. It's important to understand here that the development of laser weapons has long been no secret. The use of directed energy for military purposes will become the norm in the coming years. Interestingly, the development of such weapons is being carried out not only for fighters, but also for their arch-enemies, air defense systems. In March 2022, the Israeli military conducted a series of successful tests using the Iron Beam air defense laser complex. During these tests, the system prototype destroyed approaching drones, mortar shells, rockets, and anti-tank missiles. The developers of the Iron Beam system claim that it is already capable of operating effectively at distances from hundreds of meters to several kilometers. In addition, high-energy laser weapons offer a very significant cost advantage. Each shot costs only a few dollars, whereas the cost of conventional missiles starts at tens of thousands and goes up to millions of dollars. Another obvious upgrade will be the ability to strike in all 360 degrees. By and large, this amazing technology is already used in American 5th generation fighters, and therefore, in the aircraft of the future, some modernization and improvement of existing capabilities are expected.
That is, there is also a helmet-mounted targeting system. What does this mean? The plane flies forward, and the missile is guided by the pilot's head movement to the left, right, at all 90 degrees, or even programmatically. It first launches forward, then turns around and flies towards the target that is pursuing the F-35 aircraft. It provides the pilot with a 360-degree view because it receives information, not only from what the pilot sees with their own eyes, but also from the optoelectronic system and the radar system.
Interestingly, at one time, Europe completely abandoned the development of a 5th generation fighter. opting instead to purchase American F-35s. The reason is simple. Developing a fighter costs billions, and the US knows how to make weapons. In addition, the EU countries did not see significant military threats ahead of them. Therefore, the focus was on simple cost saving. But with the 6th generation, the situation is different. European developers are currently on par with the Americans. Russia's aggressive policy has played a significant role in this. And considering the recent ambiguous statements and actions of the American authorities, Europe will obviously see its projects through to the end. As of today, the following developments are known: the Franco-German-Spanish NGF aircraft. Technological giants are working on this project. The aerospace company Dassault Aviation and Airbus. According to the latest known plans, they want to put the aircraft into operation in the mid-2040s.
NGF is important for us and for Europe because it is essentially a project to prepare for the future in the field of fighter jets. We already have Rafale in service. Rafale is currently completely and fully operational and will be in full service for the next 20 to 30 years, but we already need to prepare the next generation now.
Significantly earlier, specifically in the 2030s, the British-Italian-Japanese Project Tempest is planned to be put into operation. The main players here are the English companies BAE Systems, Rolls-Royce, and MBDA. The American NGAD project, in turn, is being developed by the US Armed Forces in collaboration with Lockheed Martin and Boeing. Loud statements about the future 6th generation are also being made in Russia. The Russian aircraft has been designated as the MiG-41. There is no publicly available information about the development of 6th generation aircraft in China. The Chinese silence is intriguing. Considering the ambitions of the Middle Kingdom, it is simply unacceptable for Beijing to lag behind in such an important area. And considering the fact that previously the Chinese Dragon, without unnecessary political statements and PR, built several hundred 5th generation Chengdu J-20 fighters, it suggests that China is following the principle of military developments, prefers silence in the development of the 6th generation. Naturally, we will take a closer look at the future potential weapon of Ukraine's enemy, the Russian MiG-41. In the case of the Russian 6th generation fighter, the developers are particularly focusing on speed performance. The Kremlin claims that the fighter will allegedly be able to accelerate to speeds of more than 4 Mach, or in other words, over 5,000 kilometers per hour. For comparison, the maximum allowable speed of the MiG-31, one of the fastest combat aircraft in the world, is only 3,000 kilometers per hour, and it can maintain that speed for no more than 5 minutes. In the context of the Russians achieving the claimed speed, the issue is not so much about power and engines, but rather about design, technology, and materials. At a speed of 4 Mach, the aircraft must withstand an incredible level of heating, and for flying at high altitudes, the aircraft's body must be made using special materials. Besides maximum speed, another feature of future aircraft depends on design and composite materials, such as advanced technologies. Russian, American, and European military experts agree that 6th generation fighters will face literally cosmic tasks. They will need to fly at near space altitudes to be able to shoot down low orbit enemy satellites, for instance, if necessary. That's all for now. Don't forget to write in the comments about which types of weapons you would like to learn more about. Also, give this video a like and of course subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal.